Hey guys, Mars Noobs about with the Gravity Project here, and this video is going to be on the 9 reasons why I think DC is dead for good and it'll never be able to properly recuperate or recover and be fun again. So I was talking to Nova, and Nova, if you guys don't know, or you're new to the channel, you weren't sub previously, was the person who started this channel with me, and all we did was DC videos for like 2 years, legit. And I had been playing DC since 2011. So I guess it's been a long time for me, guys, and I'm finally ready to just hang it up for good. It's so boring. It's so bad right now, and there's nothing that can be done to save it. So I guess I'll hop in my list and let you guys know why I feel that way. So number 9 on this list is redundancy. Um, the game is just super repetitive feeling. Like it doesn't even matter if it's a new environment anymore. It's like everything feels the same. It doesn't even matter. It's crazy. Like I had never done Science Fire before this solo, and I mean I always enjoy a new environment, but it didn't necessarily feel like a new environment, and it definitely didn't feel like a new mission. Like I felt like I had done this thing 1,000 times already. Like they basically took like a Star Labs mission and like the Metahuman Research Wing mission and like just made it a tiny little solo, and we're like, have fun. I mean, yeah, it's technically something new, quote unquote, but it just felt super redundant, and that's just how all the content has felt recently. Like, it's just really boring. That's really all I can say for it. So that's number 9. Number 8 on the list is lack of incentive and the gear system. The gear system right now is really not my favorite, and the fact that the content is monthly, I feel like I might as well just like play every few months. Like I can skip a few episodes because like why? Why would I just go? Why would I buy a legendary for a month to get half a set of gear and then come back and get the next half and then get the next little rings and accessories and the next month start all over? Like it feels awkward, like having a half a set that's higher than the other half, and like it's all mismatched. It's not my favorite. So I think the gear system is kind of off right now. If you ask me, it was always better just to get marks and buy your gear. That was, I think, the better way to grind gear. But you know, everybody has their preferences, I suppose. So number 7 on this list is the story. Like I've been lost, honestly, but at least in the beginning it had a coherent story and a major villain. We're definitely lacking a major villain. I think DC needs that kind of like focus. Like it needs to be focused on one person. And I think they kind of got away from that, which was a mistake. So having Brainiac be the major villain in the beginning was nice, because like you had a goal you were working toward. Like we all knew, like, yeah, we're fighting so and so because Brainiac is controlling him, and we're doing all this to stop Brainiac, and it was good to have that one goal. And like once it was achieved, it was awesome, and I was waiting for the next guy to step up and be like that badass, but it didn't really happen. Like they just threw a bunch of like no names and like weird people at us in a like weird like glob of like plot and poorly like adhered story. It was like, oh, the Amazons attacked and then lanterns came and now there's a war. Like, what the hell is happening? Like no one knows. And so that was kind of depressing. I was a little confused for a while, and now it's just definitely down the drain. Like we're just aimlessly fighting shit. We're just fighting people for no reason. Like, why am I in the Science Fire doing this? I mean, yeah, there's supposed to be a story, but I don't know it. I didn't look it up because who cares? It's 1 month I'm gonna play this solo, and it has no significance. It's not really relevant to anything. It's like it's all filler, and I think that's what I don't like. So number 6 on this list is depreciation of styles. The styles have definitely gone down the drain. I mean, I don't even know what the last rare style is considered. I don't know if there are any rare styles comparable to like Energy Battery Backpack and CC Hood. Like that stuff is never coming back, and I miss that because that was the stuff that made the world go around. Like you wanted to get lucky, you ran this, like you hated it, you hated Arkham, but you ran it so that you could get like CC Hood and all that cool stuff. Not Arkham, Strikers. But we hated Arkham too, and we ran it for Scarecrow Hat. Like, you hated the things you ran, but you did it for a reason. And it's like, it was all right. It wasn't fun at the time, but it's fun to look back on, and it definitely helped the economy. And that brings me to my next point. The economy is definitely going down the drain. Like I said about the styles are definitely gone down the drain. The T4 styles, like the Mystic Stag, was beautiful. It was like one of the most amazing styles in the game, and it still is. And the economy is suffering because we don't have any rare styles, and we don't have any, like, I guess, super rare, sexy base items. And there's just not much. Like, bits don't matter anymore, bytes don't matter anymore, mods barely matter anymore. Like, if you have advanced mechanics and you just go put in a few synthetic mods with your 5 marks of victory every now and then, you'll be perfectly fine. It's like, yeah, you might not be top if you're going up against a good DPS, but you'll do your job with ease. And I guess that's just kind of sucky, because I think one of the draws to games for me is like being able to achieve like unrealistic things. Like, yeah, I think when I pick up a game, it'd be pretty cool if I could make $800 million, just because I know I'm probably not going to do that in my lifetime in real life. Like, it's kind of cool to be rich, even if it's just on a game. So I miss that feeling, like having $1 million. I feel broke. Like, there was a time when I had like 80 mil, and there are people I know who've gotten way beyond that, like well into like 700, 800 mils, 900 mils. I know a person with 1.2 billion, and I think like that stuff used to be fun, and it'll be missed. So that's number 6, guys. Number 5. Oh no, wait, that was number 5. Number 4 is the separation of tiers. I think the separation of tiers was one of the most fun things. Like, when I started the game, T3 was out, and so I had friends and family that I knew that were T3, and like they were like my drive. Like, I aspired to be as strong as they were, and that was fun. Like, having something to like strive for was interesting. Like, ah, dang, I want to be as strong as him one day. And then once you finally got there, you were that guy to somebody else. Like, you played a duo with somebody, and they're like, oh man, you're so OP. Like, how are you using your power like that? What is this? I'm adding you to friends. Can you help me out with this duo? And like, he made you feel so good. You're like, all right, you know what? I'll help you. And you end up being friends because like this guy he's like amazed by what you do, and like you like that praise. And I think that back and forth really helped the community. Like, you know, you're helping people, and then the people that you've helped help somebody else, and like it keeps going back and forth, and like that separation of tiers made for like a helpful and like engaged community. Whereas now everybody's already top tier, and all you have to do is like spam advanced mechanics and stuff, so no one's impressed with your like your playing style, because there's no such thing as an original loadout anymore. It's like, yeah, we all use ice and we all use art to Gus. I mean, all right, you're not special. Like, back in the day when somebody's using some unconventional loadout, you're confused as hell. Like, how is he doing damage like that? Did he really just do 700k damage using swoop attack? I don't understand. And like, that was fun. Like, being confused about how good somebody was really fun. So that's 4, guys. 3 is the lack of challenging mechanics, or even interesting mechanics for that matter. What it's basically come down to in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, is one-shots, and I think that's not fun for anybody. It's basically like, you know, if you don't meet this criteria in this time, you'll get one shot, or if you stand in this, you'll get one shot. If you don't block right now, you'll get one shot. And I mean, yeah, every few fights calls for a boss where they can one-shot you like that. One-shotting should be part of MMORPGs. But I think when you just have like consistent and frequent one-shots in all of your raids, and it's like there's no like real mechanics, and like I guess even if there is a mechanic, like there's always a loophole that just allows you to tank and spank. Like, yeah, it's fun to be able to tank and spank it like 5 DLCs later when it should be easy as hell, but when it's supposed to be hard, like I like those mechanics. Like, when back in the Gates days when we had to run spears, somebody had to know how to do it. Then your DPS had to be like diligent, like they had to be on top of it, kill those sub bosses or those ads, whatever you want to call them, as fast as possible, burn that stuff out so that you could kill the boss. And that was fun. Like, everybody loved, like, it gave DPSs a sense of purpose. It gave like the trollers a sense of purpose. Like, oh, I gotta keep them powered so my healer can keep the DPSs up. Like, run with the group, make sure you're not getting killed by those ads over there. Like, there was stuff going on, and it made you were engaged. Like, it was interesting as hell. Now it's like, all right, bro, like, we're gonna sit in this room and kill this boss. Just everybody surround the boss, stand in the corner, and spam your AMs on him until he's dead. And it's like, all right, it's cool. Let's on to the next one. So that's 3, guys. 2 is lack of relevant characters and new faces. This is happens to be a prime example. Who the hell is this? Who am I fighting right now? Like, who cares about this guy? Who cares? And I think that's one of the huge deficits. Like that's one of that really killed like some of the game to me. I think one of the most fun things ever was FOS 3, and you're sitting in there like, wow, we're really about to fight like Nan and Ursa and Zod. Like these are some of the most powerful people in the DC universe as far as I'm concerned. Like they're all Kryptonians, and like fighting people that you knew of, fighting people you were familiar with, was interesting. Like, that was kind of the point of the game to me. Like to be matched up against some no-name guy, like this guy was an ad. They just gave him a bunch of health. Like, oh yeah, now this ad is a boss. Like that's like I'm fighting a Scion or a Theta or something. Like who was that guy? No one knows. That was no one of significance, and they just make people up. And I think it's like it doesn't behoove them to like put in these these boring ass characters. Like we wanted to fight people we were interested in, like fighting Joker, fighting Cersei, fighting Wonder Woman. Like that was interesting. These no name ads we're fighting is boring. Like fighting like even like the dregs and stuff, like they looked interesting and they were cool at first, but it was like once they like were in every raid and were just recycled all over, and it just got like boring. Like, all right, I'm tired. Can we have somebody that we know of? Like, who are we fighting right now? And I think that really was one of the things that definitely killed it. And so last but not least, guys, is probably number one on everybody's list. I can't see how it wouldn't be. But AMs just, they were detrimental to this game, detrimental to DPSing, detrimental to everything. AMs ruined it all. I mean, all of it. I think I can speak for everyone who played this game well back when it was still good when I say that, like, we miss clipping, we miss jump canceling. Even weapon mastery was okay. That was a nice little variation of DPSing. It gave you something to, like, you know, some more weapon attacks. But AMs just, like, they threw it all away. Like, your weapon is pointless now. Your weapon is literally pointless. Like, you could just put on any weapon, like, just put a skill point on anything, because you might as well just use it. It doesn't matter. You're never gonna hold triangle. You're never gonna tap triangle. You're never gonna hold square. Like, what is a weapon? Like, I don't even block break stuff. Like, I just press R1 and try to get back into my AM as fast as possible, because that's where my damage is gonna come from. Why am I gonna block break this ad when I can mass terror, stun it, and then like use my AM on him? I mean, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, DPSing is terrible, and I think the real problem was like they were trying to cater to the people who weren't good at the game, but that's a mistake. Like, you're not supposed to cater to the population of your game that sucks. Like, yeah, I get like everybody wants to be like a decent player, and everybody should have the chance to be a decent player, but everybody did have the chance to be a decent player. All you had to do was like read the instructions and figure out, oh, let me hold triangle twice and then hit this power so that I don't use my power too fast, and I'm doing decent damage to my weapon and my powers. Like, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist, you just had to not be stupid. And so I mean, like, yeah, if you're gonna cater to the, like, you know, the population of your game that is like little children who are like 8, 9, 10 years old and, like, you know, probably just suck at most games anyway, I kind of understand that, but it's like you should have been catering to the population of your game who took the time out of their lives to get good and to, like, to be interested and involved. Like, oh yeah, like, I sit here at these sparring targets in the Hall of Doom like once an hour every week so that I can figure out the right loadout. This is the loadout used for range. This is the loadout used for melee. And like back in the day, we didn't even have armories. We were just respecking all the time, just respecking all day. Like, oh, you want me to troll? Let me respec, because I have a great troll loadout and I'm a good troll. You want me to DPS? Oh, this boss is really hard. You're gonna want to use a range loadout. Let me respec everything again. And we were just respecking all the time because that's what you had to do. And we didn't mind. Like, yeah, we hated it because it was tedious, but it was like we were good. And I think, you know, the combat style is really just lacking now, and it's not doing it, guys. So that was my rant. I don't know. Tell me if you guys agree. Like, comment, rate, and subscribe. As always, I'm Mars, a noob cyber with the Gravity Project, and I will see you all